the movement's back from the test stand. It's running okay. We're now going to put it back into the case. I put the little bird on its perch. That's not exactly where it has to be, but we won't know that until the movement gets inside the case. So that's what we're going to do now. We'll very carefully put the movement inside the case, being careful of the little bird so we don't snap it off, and align it over the holes initially where we're going to tie it down. There we go. I've got one of the screws attached to my grabbing screwdriver. I'll just put these 4 screws in partially initially, because we've got to get the chains out through the holes in the bottom of the case. And we've also got to align the little bird, which looks relatively close, but I don't think it's going to be quite close enough. So we'll check that once I've got these 4 screws partially in. Can't find my long shafted screwdriver anywhere. Alright, we'll have to use the little green one then. So I'll tighten these screws down to hold the movement in place. One, they're only small screws so it doesn't take long to get them in. There we go. Right, before we put the chains in, we're going to have a look and see how the little bird fits in. First thing I'll do is I'll take the piece of wire off the little bird's door so that we can fit the little bird in. I'll check that. I think that's slightly off to one side. Yep, you can see there, too close. Alright, put the case down again and pull the bird out, and I'll loosen that screw so that I can move the bird up a little bit away from the side of the frame. And I would think we'll try that. Tighten the little bird down again. That's not easy to get at, very confined space in here. Plus there's virtually no light, which doesn't make it easy. Right, we'll check it and see first, and then we can tighten it down. Now, where's our little bird? There we go. You can see there, he's going to come out in the middle of the door, and so that's right. Okay, I'll tighten that down, and I'll use a different screwdriver. Actually, it might be a bit easier to get into it. Alright, we've got the little bird position now, so we've now got to put this hook up through that little hook there, and then turn it down just a little bit so that it stays in place. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Turn it over, get rid of that. There's our little bird. Alright, I'll put the wire on that and hold it in place so it doesn't open again. Now it's time to put the chains in through the holes in the bottom of the case. We'll go with this guy first, and I'll get a pair of tweezers so we can grab it. There we go. That's pulled through the first one. Now the other side of that chain goes in here. Line the tweezers again, catch the chain, and then slowly pull it through, making sure it doesn't catch on anything. Alright, that's 2. That guy's caught up on the top of that. That's got him. Put him through. Now, strike side chain. Line him up through the 3rd hole. Grab him with tweezers. Pull him through. And the last chain, or the last part of the same chain, goes into here. Pull it through until it's all the way through. then let it drop down, and there we have the 4 chains. What I'll do now is I'll put a hook on each of the ends of these chains that hold the weights on them, and tighten it up so that the chain doesn't slide back into the case. That's one. And strike side now, put the hook on it and close it up nice and tightly. A bit off whack, I'll straighten that up. Yep, that's right. Okay, that'll hold those now, they won't fall through. Okay, next part of the operation is putting the bellows in and their lift levers, and that is what we're going to do right now. Where's our high note and the high note bellows lift lever, that beast there. Alright, so what we've got to do, that initially goes up into there, and I'll find the little hole here, which is there, that brad goes into, and I'll straighten that up. It's slightly bent. Alright, I'll slide that brad into the hole. Virtually impossible to see, but that's beside the point. Tiny bit more. I think that's it there. Yep. Okay. Now, before we put the screw into that, we have to align the lift lever down here, which goes into there. Pull that up, hold it with a pair of tweezers till we can get the pliers on it, and then we'll bend it over. I'll put a pair of pliers on the bottom to hold that because it's bending a bit, and then with another pair of pliers I'll twist this over. That should have it all right. See what we got. Okay, now one of our screws that we use for holding the bellows in, 2 of them here, a little packet. I'll drop it into a dish. They're the screws I'm talking about. Grab one of those, to my screw holding screwdriver again, lift the side of the case up, and I'm using a dentist probe to align the holes, and then once having found it, I then start inserting the screw. Take the screw holding screwdriver off, and then screw the screw down with the normal screwdriver. Right, there's the high note. Now, same thing for the low note. Screw holding screwdriver, get that organised initially, and there's our bellows, low note. Now what we've got to do once again is straighten up this little brad in here so that we can push the pipe onto it. Right, let's try that. That's a hole in the bellows that I'm going to line that little brad there. Push it on, obviously missed the hole, and it's snapped off. Right, not a problem. Right, that aligns the hole on the pipe with the hole in the side of the case. I'll tighten that down, and we've got that piece of wire there under the tail of the bird, and as this bellows lifts up, it lifts the tail of the bird, and the bird bobs its head outside the cage. Alright, now put the other bellows lift lever on. Right, I'll turn that over and check to make sure that that works correctly. Yep, there's our little bird. Now, dentist probe and go back over there. Don't need that anymore. Right, now I'll get in here and I'll put in the low note bellows lift lever, and then we'll be just about finished in actual fact. I'll hang the clock up on the wall and we'll have a look at it working up there. I'll put a ring on each of the long ends of the chain. That'll secure that in there so the chain won't pull in through the case. That's the first one. Now the second one. Drop that through there. and spin it round. Okay, that's got him. Right, now we're going to put the clock on the wall, and we'll put the topper on it and see what it looks like. Alright, might help if I put the hands on, I think. I think this was 3 o'clock when I took it off. We'll check it once we put it on the wall. But I'll put where's the square one? That's what we want. Wind that down to there, and then put the minute hand on with its knurl nut, little guy there. Put that on top and start to screw it down. Hand in the middle, being a bit careful because these are old plastic hands, liable to break very, very easily, I would think. Right, I'll tighten up the knurl nut very carefully, a little bit at a time. Nope, not tight enough yet, it's still spinning round. Alright, I'll take that off because the piece underneath it can't be seated properly if that hand is spinning. Should be, it's certainly sitting on there correctly. It would appear that the hand hasn't settled down far enough onto it. Right, we'll have another go. See if we can get that. Yeah, that's the top. Alright, get that aligned and then wind it down. That's feeling a bit better. Carefully tighten it a bit with the pliers. Yep, that's looking alright. Okay, now I'll go and put it on the wall and we can have a look at it working. And there's our clock on the wall, working, pendulum swinging there. So that's the end of another clock repair video. What a cuckoo clock.